everybody, welcome back to Olga is Cooking. We are here today to continue our delightful exposition of my love for the humble cabbage. So for those of you that might have missed my very poorly centered video on my love of cabbage, I'm just gonna give you a quick little recap. So I love cabbage because it's extremely versatile to cook, takes on a lot of different flavor profiles in the way that you cook it, and in these tough grocery times, it is really an economical vegetable, also super healthy. So today, the first sort of introduction to the different ways to make cabbage, I'm gonna simply roast it in the oven. So as you see, this cabbage is flippin' enormous, and I'm gonna do my best to chop it down into four wedges. I'm gonna use one wedge today. Gosh, it's so massive. We really need a lot of strength. Okay, so this isn't actually in half, as you'll see, very uneven. So let's see how much I can get out of this guy. So we're just gonna remove the outer layers of the cabbage that look a little not so hot. And all I'm gonna do is just really chop it finely. So the key to this, you don't want your pieces too small, because if they are too small, they're just gonna wither and die in the oven, which we don't want. We still wanna maintain a little bit of crunch, a little bit of texture. So I'm gonna choose today to put everything in a bowl and mix it up. You don't have to do that. You can go straight onto a baking sheet, totally fine. But I'm gonna choose to do this just to make sure that all of our chosen spices are well coated. So on the spice front, you can go anywhere you want with this cabbage. You can go really high, or you can go really low in terms of the flavor profile. Because I have not yet made or decided a protein that's gonna go with this, and I might be having a few proteins with this, I'm going pretty light on the spice. If you have a more neutral protein, like a simple, chicken in the oven, a pork tenderloin that's not very heavily spiced, you can go super deluxe on this. Cumin, paprika, chili powder, harissa is also really nice. You can even put some chili powder, like really whatever super pungent wild spices. Because I don't know the protein and I don't want my flavors to clash on the plate, I am gonna go a little lighter on this. So what do we start with? Pepper. Who's being very quiet at the moment. Some salt. This happens to be Himalayan pink sea salt. Doesn't matter, table salt is fine. I'm gonna do a little garlic powder. I know a lot of people, garlic powder polarizes a lot of heavy duty chefs, and I don't know why. It's fine for me. Probably because I'm not a heavy duty chef. You can also use jarred garlic if you want. I'm not opposed to that either, or freshly minced garlic if you like. I'm gonna do a little bit of dried mustard. I think this is a nice addition, although that side is not working quite well. And again, just to the side of your eye, you're not gonna taste this necessarily before you throw it in the oven. So let's just throw a bit here. And to make sure we bind everything together, we're gonna do a little bit of olive oil. You can also add in here some sesame oil, depending on what your underlying spices are. I think that would be a really nice way to add a little bit of smoky flavor to the dish. I'm not gonna add any today just because I'm not, but you can. You can do anything with cabbage. That's why we love it. Okay, so this has just been really nicely coated. This would actually make a pretty fine slaw, if you see it. You know, really nicely coated. I have put some parchment paper on this baking sheet. Very technically dumping the cabbage onto our baking sheet. And just make sure now that it's as flat as you can be, depending on how much cabbage you have and how big your baking sheet is. You don't want to overcrowd the cabbage because that's going to impact how it cooks. You don't want it to steam up, you want it to roast. And if you crowd the vegetables, they will tend to steam up. Okay, so we're pretty good to go. I'm going to just put a little bit more pepper. I like to sort of see the pepper flakes. I'm gonna put a little bit more salt. Lovely. I'm gonna cook this in a pretty high heat oven, 425. For about, I'm gonna take a look at it at about 20 to 25 minutes. I want it charred, but I don't want it killed. So it's a fine line. And I also don't want it super dry. So as it cooks, the oil will absorb and, you know, it might evaporate too much. So just keep an eye. 20 to 25 minutes at 425 should be great. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like after. So I'm gonna come closer to you now because I have misplaced the remote control of my camera. Ah, brilliant. And that's it, roast cabbage. Let's say stay tuned. I'm gonna show you what it looks like, okay? If you like it, everyone.